To my subscribers, thank you for tuning in once again. If you are new, welcome. This is part 3 of my 4-part series about the Disney Wish. If you haven't watched part 1 and 2, I recommend checking them out starting with part 1. For part 3, it is a day at sea, and this is where the real tour begins. We will be going deck by deck to see everything the ship has to offer. Once again, we are going to have breakfast in the Marceline Market. In previous episodes, we've touched on some of the things the ship has. On a day at sea like this, the Aqua Mouse will be crowded. The theme on the Disney Wish is enchantment. Throughout Deck 11, there are coffee and tea machines. There is also hot water and tea bags available to make hot tea. The cups for the fountain drinks are over here. The fountain drinks are on the other side. I was the first person on the Aqua Mouse for the day. Watch closely, I'll be coming soon. Deck 1 is used for unloading and offloading at cruise destinations besides Port Canaveral. The only thing you'll find in Deck 1 is the ship's health center, located on Deck 1 forward, just down the corridor. Deck 2 has several rooms that are different from the one we are in. You can also find the Oceaneers Club and Small World Nursery, which are places that you can drop your kids off and pick them up later. It's very secure and safe. Here's what the Oceaneers Club looks like. Several portholes look over the view of the ocean. The Small World Nursery is next door to the right. On Deck 3, you'll find the Walt Disney Theater, the Grand Hall, 1923, Star Wars Hyperspace Lounge, and a few shops and bars. Here's the Deck 3 entrance into the Walt Disney Theater. You do have to pay for popcorn here too. The show they are gonna have here tonight is Aladdin, similar to the Broadway show in New York City. Here we have a jewelry shop. Here is the Bayou Lounge. Looks like they are about to have trivia. Throughout Deck 3, you'll find several shops in this area. A few of them are connected to each other. You can also enter the Oceaneers Club from Deck 3 in the Grand Hall. The cool part about it is that you can take a slide all the way down. As I mentioned before, the theme for the Disney Wish is enchantment. Deck 3 is also where you will board or disembark the ship at Port Canaveral. The Grand Hall is the first thing you will see. It's time to check out the Hyperspace Lounge. While it is a Star Wars themed bar, it is so realistic. It is open to all ages until after 9 o'clock p.m. It is an adults only place. We saw what 1923 looks like in part 1. On Deck 4, you'll find the Walt Disney Theater, both cinemas that we saw in part 1, the Grand Hall, Worlds of Marvel, Luna Lounge, and a few more shops. We've been in Worlds of Marvel in part 2. The doors open when it's dinner time. Deck 4 has a bar overlooking the Grand Hall. Here's the Grand Hall from Deck 4. Every light on the ship was designed to use the least amount of energy as possible. On Deck 4, you can plan a future cruise. Here's what the Luna Lounge looks like from Deck 4. The Walt Disney Theater can also be reached from Deck 4. Deck 4 also has a barber shop and an outdoor balcony. This is where you will board the lifeboats in case of an emergency. The view on Deck 5 is blocked by the lifeboats. the ship needs to have them. Some people sit in the Deck 4 balcony, or even play shuffleboard. Yes, there are shuffleboards on Deck 4. On Deck 5, you will find the Senses Spa, Senses Fitness, a few lounges, Grand Hall, Edge, a few shops, Luna Lounge, and Arendelle. We will be dining in Arendelle for tonight and our last dinner on this cruise. I'm not going to spoil it. Edge is a place for anyone that is 12 to 14 years old. Deck 5 is the highest of the Grand Hall. This is exactly where I stood to see the lighting of the tree. This section is where you can rest, but no view of the ocean. The Luna Lounge can also be reached from Deck 5. We were here in Part 2 to play bingo but lost. They have bingo, trivia, and other activities here. The Senses Spa is in that direction.
And contact the nearest member of the crew for further instructions. May I have your attention, please?
Open the pores.
Near the Senses Spa is the Senses Fitness. Senses Fitness is the ship's onboard gym where you can work out. From Deck 4, you can take the stairs to Deck 5. Looks like a storm is coming. The bow of the ship that you can see from the front is part of Deck 6. This section is not really popular, but people were watching the view from here when we first left Port Canaveral. This is the outdoor piece of Senses Spa. On the left is a bright day, on the right a rainstorm is approaching. You can go inside on these wooden doors. Deck 6 has nothing but staterooms. Deck 7, nothing but staterooms as well. Deck 8 is where our room is. You can also do your own laundry if you want on Deck 8 forward. Here's what the laundry room looks like. Deck 9 and 10 are nothing but staterooms. On Deck 11, you'll find the pool deck, Marceline Market, and other eateries. Donald's Cantina is where you can get tacos. The Pizza Pies restaurant is where you can get pizza. Mickey's Smokestack Barbecue is where you can get barbecue-type foods. Goofy's Grill is where you can get cheeseburgers, hot dogs, or any other grilled food. And lastly, Minnie's Sweet Ice Cream is where you can get ice cream. The Lookout Bar is where you can get alcoholic drinks. There are non-alcoholic drink dispensers all across the deck. You can sit in these seats and watch a Disney movie that they are playing on the big screen. They are playing Princess and the Frog. The restaurant we are in is an inside-out themed restaurant that serves ice cream. This is real ice cream. There are toppings that you can tell them to add, but this ice cream you have to pay for. There are other treats you can get here besides ice cream. This shop on Deck 11 is where you can get Disney Cruise Line souvenirs and some toiletries. I'm coming back to the Marceline Market to show you what you would expect for lunch. Marceline Market serves both breakfast and lunch. Breakfast is served from 7 o'clock a.m. to 10:45 a.m. Lunch is served from 12 o'clock p.m. to 1:30 p.m. The Marceline Market also has a bartender and a barista. Those stairs will take you to Vibe and the basketball court that is next door. On Deck 12, you'll find Vibe, Hero Zone, and a few more options. This is a restaurant that wasn't in the list of the 3 dinner restaurants that are in the cruise fare. I've been in Vibe at night, but I'm checking it out in the morning. I think it looks cooler at night than it is in the day.
Everyone except Andrew is on the last slide, so I'm not going to say that.
The Hero Zone is a basketball court, and on the side there are ping pong tables. On the upper level is air hockey. There are 2 other pools that are also part of Deck 12. They have shallower pools at Deck 12 forward. There is also a Toy Story themed water slide that is yellow and is smaller than the Aqua Mouse. The entrance to the slide is where those green footprints are. Up ahead, it's raining. Deck 13 has the Concierge Sun Deck and nothing but staterooms. Deck 13 aft is the entrance to the Aqua Mouse and the entrance to the ship's adult section. The Concierge Lounge is locked. This is for high rollers. I was right, the Aqua Mouse has a long line. Deck 13 has a few shallow pools. The area that we are in is the adult section. There are a few bars in the area. You can even watch the Aqua Mouse from here. There's even a hot tub here. At this point, the rain cleared up. There is a pool and a bar that overlooks the back of the ship. This is cool. This is a cool looking lounge that is part of the adult section.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a great day.
This area is considered Deck 14 aft. All you would see from here is a bunch of seats that overlook the view. On Deck 14 forward, you will find a small pool and another bar. It's an adult-only section. The pool on Deck 14 is closed. The section below us is the Concierge Sun Deck. But from Deck 14, you can get another view of the front of the ship. The Mickey logo at the top is actually the ship's horn. Here's the bar on Deck 14. That completes our tour of the Disney Wish. For the remaining time, I chilled in the Vibe before dinner. It's time for our last dinner on this cruise. We are assigned to Arendelle, the third of the 3 rotational dinings. We've been in all 3 restaurants that are part of the rotational dining on the Disney Wish. Arendelle is a Frozen-themed restaurant inspired by Disney Pixar's Frozen 1 and 2. The restaurant also has a view of the back of the ship. If you are lucky, you can get a table that looks over the view from the back. For this restaurant, most of the action will take place in the center. When the show is underway, I'll move closer for you guys to see. It's basically Frozen songs being sang with some of the Frozen characters. I know the Frozen series is one of your favorites, so I won't talk much so you can get a flavor of this show. And here comes the conclusion. I came back to vibe for a little bit because it looks cool when it's dark outside. One thing I would like to mention is make sure that you do what you want to do tonight because everything on the ship will be closed by the time the vessel arrives in Port Canaveral. By tomorrow, we will be ending our cruise in Port Canaveral, which will be in the next and last part. Stay tuned for that. A different towel critter awaits us when we come back to our stateroom.